warlock, weapons and supplies. But you need a place to track your stuff, cause you're so disorganized. You click open the web page, you heard about a critical role, and now you're ready to kick some butt in that mine shot full of no's. It's TNT! TNT Beyond, yeah, TNT! TNT Beyond. You got your stats, you got your swords, and you got your invisible war. It's TNT. TNT Beyond.
Hello and welcome everyone to this very impromptu session that we've got some special guests that have come together to celebrate the release of Eberron for 5th edition. We're incredibly excited about this. You see Satine is very excited about it.
Satine is losing it.
She is completely losing it. But thank you very much for joining us. We are going to try to get into this very quickly because we only have a couple of hours today, and we've got to see what kind of adventure awaits. But I am Adam Bradford, the product director for D&D Beyond. I'm joined by Todd Kenrick, our creative director at D&D Beyond. We've got the creator of Eberron, Keith Baker, with us. We're really happy that he's here. And then we have, of course, Satine Phoenix, who everyone in the universe, the multiverse at this point in time knows. But we've got Satine with us and our esteemed dungeon master for today's outing, Ruty Rutenberg. Take it away, Ruty.
Hi, everybody. So without further ado, we'll just go ahead and introduce the characters, and then I'll set the scene for Eberron, and we will play some games. Why don't we start with Adam?
All right. I thought you'd never ask. I am playing Arlo Garrett, a half-orc with the Mark of Finding, who is a wand slinger, and you definitely don't want to piss this guy off. Warlock. That's Keith. Keith's next.
Oh, that's me. Sorry, my name's... See, I was confused. I thought you were a warlock. So I am playing a Warforged, and my name is Locke. And so I'm a Warforged envoy. Grew up, so to speak, as an urchin, learning to get into things. So I can both unlock doors with my fingers, but I also have a large hammer, which I like to call key. So I like getting into things.
Who's next?
Todd?
It's me. I am playing Eberron. He's a rogue warforged. He was a skirmisher. And yeah, that's the character I'm playing.
Heavy rogue party. All right. And last but not least, Squeenix.
I am Milani, and I am a mysterious elf rogue assassin.
Wow.
Spy.
All right.
You don't know anything about me except for perhaps where I am from.
I don't
because
know
of my accent.
I don't know if I would be working with you if I didn't know you, but I guess we'll let that pass for today.
Yeah.
I may have protected you.
Gotcha.
I may have saved your life once. So if we go real fast back through the email that I sent everyone, the campaign, let's see, got it here. A little further. My apologies, everyone. 1 second.
Okay.
I really love the new character sheet.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
If you all do not know it by now, you should have seen this all over the Twitterverse and Facebook and everywhere else. Wayfinder's Guide to Eberron is available right now on the DMs Guild and D&D Beyond, so be sure to check that out. This is a wonderful experiment that Wizards of the Coast is doing with allowing this campaign prototype to get out there, to allow people to get this in their hands, and it's official to start playing in Eberron, so definitely check that out.
What he said.
That's pretty exciting. I'm really excited for the playable races. And also Eberron. And also being a golem.
Well, I was about to say, so Todd, you're a Warforged skirmisher, right?
Yeah.
Got it.
And what is your name one more time, Todd?
It's Eberron.
Eberron. Okay. Got it.
I noticed Eberron was a 10th level fighter, and now is not. All right. So we have Eberron, Arlo, Milani, and Locke. And you are going to have this, before you got onto the Sky Coach, you were going to have had this briefing. Agents, your strike team has been tasked with liberating a highly valuable artifact from a lightning rail headed into Sharn to be sold at auction to the highest bidder. The artifact has been identified as a sickly green crystal with electric purple veins coursing across its facets. Intel suggests that this may be a dragon shard used in the creation forges to make Warforged, and if so, it could be the cause of the mourning itself. The item needs to be appropriated and researched, but once sold, it will likely become untraceable. This is our best opportunity. The plan from your superiors is to subdue its guards on the train, take possession of the item, and make your escape via Sky Coach through Sharn and across the Dagger River. Your Sky Coach will have a Lyrandar driver, one of us, and you can expect interference from current Guardians as well as the Sharn Watch. Luckily, the train arrives during one of the usual daily downpours and should help obscure your escape. Good luck, agents. So, with that, we will go ahead and set the scene of Sharn. As your Sky Coach, which we can look at as a small skiff, skims across the clouds, parting them as you move, you can start to see the rain spatter against the electric blue, purple, and green neons of the skyline of Sharn, the city of towers. With the setting sun moving down, taking that final luminescence off of the clouds, all that's left is the dark with the contrasting lights of this waiting train, or I should say the waiting conductor stones that start to groove and weave throughout the towers, making their way up to what you can only assume is a bank of dwarven design, something that is nigh impenetrable by anyone except for one of the House Kundaric signs. This is perhaps the only window in which you can achieve your objective. And as you start to see the sparks of the conductor stones getting ready for their oncoming train, your skiff starts to move close to the side of the track, waiting as the lightning rail races towards you. Your driver, Grelic, a half-elf, Lyrandar, makes sure to pull you in for one last briefing. All right, guys, here's the deal. Just jump on, get the crystal, and I'll be waiting for you to jump right back off and we'll make our escape. We need to be quiet. We need to be fast. We need to get this done. Any questions?
Yeah, do we have any kind of idea at all where this thing might be inside this train?
I will give you the signal when to jump.
That's not a good answer, but all right.
There's one car that's going to have it.
Simple. Let's do this.
That'll probably be the first one.
All right.
May not be the
right
engine.
after you.
May not be the engine. Probably not. But does anybody have any questions besides that? Great. Here's the train coming. Warforged, you'll find inside your compartments that you have a stone with a feather marked on it. You others will have it in a pocket somewhere. Oh, here it comes! Jump.
Yeah.
I let everyone else jump first.
Okay.
I go right away. Woo!
So those
any failures?
Those of you that jumped immediately will land very easily on the platform right behind
Yes.
the car. Those of you
Fortune
that
favors the
hesitated
bold.
can make me a sleight of hand check as Grelick pushes you off and you reach out to try and grab onto the train.
23.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get on the train. Yeah, I'm gonna he's gonna push me, and I just want to make sure that he knows that I'm so deft of skill that I'm making this choice.
All right, so you roll a 23.
Yeah.
After he pushes you off, you latch out with just one hand and cap onto one of the windows, your warforged form flopping about a little bit, and then and then as it kind of measures with the gravity, starts to kind of drift down, and your hand curves down onto the bottom of the windowsill. You're about one back, and the train is now starting to lean in your direction. The rest of you can make me a dexterity saving throw to try and stay on the platform behind it.
That's a 6.
15.
I only got a 10.
Okay. So Arlo starts to stumble off the side of the train. Let's see. Locke is able to grab onto the rail, but as Arlo does, he reaches out and can see exactly what is tipping the train. And now you can make me a sleight of hand check, Arlo.
Can I help?
That is a 1 on the
You
die.
can help.
Oh my god.
And so for a
Starting things off with a
total
bang.
of
That's
3.
okay. The 1 gets negated here unless he rolls another one.
All right.
Oh,
I helped you.
do you want me to roll again?
Yeah, she said she was going to help you before you told me the roll, so...
Oh, okay. Outstanding. Thanks, Milani.
Yeah, you lucked out.
All
on
right.
that one.
So that is a 15 then.
All right. That's much better. Otherwise, we'd have had a real quick death. All right, so as you reach out, you see Locke snag onto the railing, and you quickly do the same as Milani reaches over and grasps onto your wrist, being able to hold you just enough that you're able to catch your balance. Your other hand swings out and reaches for Eberron and starts to pull and makes contact, you guys grabbing each other by the forearms as well. With a little bit of effort, you're able to lift the Warforge up. Luckily, you are a very large half-orc and able to get him up. And you guys, without toppling the train immediately, are able to crouch down right next to the back window and take a peek in to the waiting car. Once inside there, you can see that it's kind of like a stock room. There are a lot of other little boxes here and there that would make this a pretty obvious place for a lot of the cargo that is being shipped in for an auction. What you do see that's a little bit different than some of the other boxes and crates that are there is a pedestal with a large circular glass container that seems to have a little bit of a glow. Enough of a luminescence that even as the night's falling and the rain is spattering against you and the windows, you can see a couple of guards illuminated there. Both are Warforged sentries. They appear somewhat inert, but you two Warforged would definitely know that they are probably in the midst of keeping a very active watch.
Yep. Oh
I
man.
don't trust this guy.
Oh, are we
I
close
hate
enough to
fighting
be heard?
Warforged.
You are outside the train.
Oh,
The
okay.
train is very loud, and you, for the moment, seem to be in a pretty solid position.
And what is our potential mode of entry here? Do we have a hatch? Is it sealed? Are we trying to go through a window?
From where you are right now, you have the standard back platform with a door and windows on the left and right of it. as you look down the train car, you can see that it does not really look like there is a whole lot of window light. Whether that is because that is most likely because of the crates that are stacked up along the sides of the train in the steerage area. But you did notice that there were windows running along the sides. You have not explored the top of the... go ahead.
Oh, so just turning the group. I mean, so we've got 2 guards that we're aware of who are likely will become active as soon as we get in there. Right. There could be magical defenses on the ward. How do we want to handle this?
How large are the windows? Are they big enough for a body to fit through?
They're big enough for an elf to fit through.
Not a Warforged, though?
Likely not a Warforged.
Okay. How wide is the car?
The car is, with the items that are in place, you have about a 15-foot walkway, but you could see that there is about 5 feet on each side that is taken up with the steerage area. If you look down the length of it, you're probably looking at about a 50 to 60-foot walkway. They appear to be a little further away than half.
Can I just kind of investigate the entire area? Like I'm looking for anything that I feel like going through the windows is too obvious. So I'm just investigating. I'm just giving everything like a really thorough look on the top of the train.
Okay, are you trying to climb up to the top of the train, or are you just scanning the roof from where you are?
I'm gonna try to go ahead and climb on top of the train.
Okay. There is a ladder just on the left-hand side of where you are. So you can kind of curve yourself around the train off the platform and start to climb up. It is a little bit slick from the rain.
Right.
All right, so I'm going to need an athletics check at disadvantage.
Oh, no. Can I use acrobatics?
When you fall.
Oh, no, this is not going to... And this is how I died. Oh, it's fun, everybody. 5.
5.
Oh,
I got a 5.
You reach over to grab on. You're not doing well here with the ground. You reach over to start to pull yourself up and try to grip the ladder. And as you do, your hand starts to slip. You start to fall.
Oh, you're so big.
I mean, if
and
we're
heavy.
around, we will
You're
try.
right there.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to try to brace him.
Okay. So you're going to reach out and grab onto him. Because he is... You're going to go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check.
Never let go.
That's a 14.
14. All right. So you are able to, again, snatch this guy by the wrist.
This is your job.
It kind of... I think that currently, Arlo is Eberron's watcher.
Yeah.
So...
When I pull him up, I just say, "Listen, kid, not gonna do it. Not gonna keep doing it. Keep yourself together."
I'll keep a note of that.
Hey, listen,
says,
I can walk in here and try to distract them. I can act like I don't belong and that it was an accident that I went into the car and all of that. And while you guys try to get in through a window or from the other side of the car.
I can do that.
Does anybody maybe a little bit more mobile want to try or want to help him ascend?
Well,
Okay.
I'm pretty
Go
good
ahead.
at sneaking and climbing. So I would like to, if you guys are okay with this, I'd like to go in and scout the area. Take a closer look.
Let us
When
know.
you say go in, do you mean inside the car?
Well, Todd, what was your character trying to do? You were trying to go up,
I was trying
over.
I was trying to climb a ladder to the top of the train.
So you could see in from the top.
Yeah, I just wanted to investigate the top of it and see if
Ruty,
there
I
were,
would like to.
yeah.
Okay.
I would also like to.
All right. So as you walk around to the side, you note how slick the ladder is because of the rain and because of a large warforge that almost tipped the train a second time.
Okay. Then I would like to use a. What did I get? Oh no, did I get anything?
No,
I
forget.
always forget to get equipment.
I feel like she has a rope.
I do, but I'm looking through my bag of stuff, and I take my ball bearings out and I hand it to Todd. What was your character's name?
Eberron.
Eberron. I hand it to him as I'm looking around. So now you have 1,000 ball bearings.
Because that'll help you keep your balance for sure.
Obviously.
Famously.
I feel better and lighter. And then I take my rope and I try to like attach it to something. I don't know. What can I see to attach it to? Is there like a nub or something?
I'm going to take the help action and assist her.
Okay, very good. So you move around to the side and brace Milani, helping her make her way up. You can go ahead and make me your athletics check flat.
That would be athletics. That would be a 14.
Okay, so as the train continues to rocket across the skyway, making its way over the new conducting stones, you move around to the side, and looking forward, you can see some of the conducting stones starting to kick up some of that elemental electricity as it's moving through, almost as if it's like a guided path that's just boom, boom, boom in front of you. With the assistance, you're able to climb up to the top. As you reach the apex, you can kind of like span your head around, and you notice that there is a hatch on the top that looks to be right about in the center of the train or this car.
Okay, so I climb down and I let them know. There's a hatch up there. I could go in if you distract them.
So where is that hatch in comparison to where we saw the big glowy thing? It doesn't take my mark to know that that's what we're after.
There's like arrows pointing at it.
Yeah. So if you were to be up there, you would see or I guess Milani could easily let you know that the hatch is in the center of the car, and it is a little bigger than 5 feet, but a little less than 10, but big enough for the frame of a Warforged to fit through. And it looks like it is only about 5 or so feet away from where the gem is.
I think I'm a stronger contender to be in the distraction squad in terms of coming in the door and trying to draw the people to us while, potentially Milani sneaks through the hatch or something and grabs it. So I volunteer for that duty.
All right, so here's the play. This is what we're going to do. We're going to act like you and me got into a fight. Now, obviously, I would win that fight, but we're going to pretend like maybe you were winning, all right? So we're going to kind of go through the door.
We lost him.
Right.
He got
Here's what we're
blown
going
away.
to do.
We have audio, but not video. Okay. Can you guys hear me?
Perfect suspense timing.
Yeah, it was.
I can barely see the half-orc in the rain.
All right.
Yeah.
It's
As
so
you guys
rainy.
as
Why
you guys
is
are
it
standing
so
there,
rainy down
the only thing that you can see in the glow of the neon light is the yellow of his tusks, waiting. And this somewhat distracts you from being able to hear him during this conversation.
And his breath, which I don't even have a nose, and it's alarming.
That's not true.
Let me know when we're ready to keep rolling.
I turn on the wipers on my eyes.
Fair.
All right, man. It's nervous, guys. I'm kind of feeling nervous. I'm not gonna lie. The first one in the box is like the person who's taking all the risk.
I know.
Lock, I have a question.
Yes.
Is the door locked?
That is a question. Can I study it to determine that without actually trying to open it?
Sure. You do see a lock on it.
Okay.
You can see the little handle, and it looks as though this would likely require some sort of magical, at least know-how.
Okay.
From what you can tell as a zealot of the Warforged design. Really, the only thing that you're picking up is from your knowledge of being a Warforged and knowing that this kind of an apparatus would require a more mystical touch.
I'm certainly going to relay that. And from what we know of each other, do any of you have, essentially Arcana training or anything like that? Because I certainly don't.
Me neither.
I do.
Is that our Wandslinger?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear
Kind
you.
of.
We can.
All right.
We can.
Okay.
So certainly I would say, well, let's see what we can do here. So is it something the two of us could work on together if I worked with Arlo?
Yes.
It is certainly something that you could assist Arlo in doing. You could also use your key on it if you really wanted to as a last resort, likely.
Let's start with I'll assist Arlo and offer my insights.
Okay, and Milani, from what you would have been able to see, this actually looks like a standard hatch on the top that may require nothing of you except for maybe slipping a latch. Very simple for a standard thief.
Okay. Well, I will go up top, and I will tie a rope to my waist. And it's not an impossible mission. I believe I can do this.
Okay, so you use a few feet of rope to tie yourself around the waist. You use a few feet of rope to tie off on the ladder, and you stay very low across the top, almost at a prone, but just a little bit up, so that you're not getting ripped off by the wind. But you start to make your way across as Arlo and Locke start to examine the apparatus on the door.
I would like to also stealth.
You'd like to stop?
I really want to just be quiet up there. So every movement I do, I just want it to be like really freaking slow and quiet.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought you said stomp, like STOMP.
Oh, the opposite of that. That is
Okay.
what I do not want to do.
Go ahead and make me a stealth check. And this will be at advantage because of all the noise that's going on from the train and the rain.
Okay. All right. So that is a 26.
Okay. And Arlo and Locke, describe to me what you guys are doing so that I know what's going on here.
I was a little bit distracted just a second ago, so I'm not exactly sure. Like, I feel like we're trying to open some kind of door.
So
Locke,
we're trying.
You want to point it out?
Yeah, so we're trying to open the door in the back of from the back platform, but what we have is a locking mechanism that is definitely arcane in nature. So I am sharing my insight both as an inherently magical creature and someone who appreciates locks, but we need your arcane skill to actually try and open this.
Absolutely. Happy to do it. I start to concentrate on the lock.
Okay. So you reach out towards the door, you put your hand on it and start to feel out, reaching with your consciousness. Go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
Am I doing so? Is he helping me?
This is not
This is it.
that.
Okay. I don't
Yeah.
think it matters. That is a 22.
Okay. So you reach out, and with your training, you're able to see that what this is actually a bypass, so that you would actually need to both hold a magical hand on it, and then also have a lock pick hand working on this. So the two of you combined can actually get through this door, but those are the magical securities put in place, a double lock of sorts.
Right.
And with your 22, you are able to go ahead and not disarm, but pacify the first half of the lock.
All right.
It's pacified, man. Get in there.
All right. I extend my hand and extend my internal lock picks. And shall I make a thieves check? Thieves tools check?
Please do.
All right. Studying it carefully. Ooh, which one of these is going to fit?
Can I use my bonus action to give him help?
I will, yeah, because you are doing that. It's not combat, but that's fine. I'll let you backseat drive his lockpicking.
Okay.
I'm like, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, but I have experience with this lock. I've seen this lock a few times, so you might, this model in particular.
Don't you just
Fair
hate
enough.
it when you're
So-
trying to do something and somebody tries to tell you how to do it right over your shoulder?
Okay, so am I rolling advantage on that, or do you want to make the second roll, Arvin?
No, you would roll advantage unless you're telling him to shove off, in which case you
No
can roll
worries. I had without his help, I had a 19.
Okay.
I rolled a 2 for the advantage die, so I'm just saying. Thanks
Yeah,
for the
that's-
advice.
Thanks for
Yeah.
nothing.
Wow. Yeah.
All right. So as the train is rocking back and forth a little bit over it, pulling itself, making sure the magnetism of the conductor stones continues to propel it forward, you guys can feel the wind whipping by. What's her name? Milani. You make your way up to the latch. You can see that all it is a simple trip latch, and you could very easily do that with a dagger or lockpicks or anything that you wanted. Depending on your grooming, you might even be able to do it with a fingernail. The rest of you, you can see the dim glow of the light around Averon's hand as the lock disengages a little bit, and the Warforged arm flips around a little bit until the fingers become lockpicks. And you insert and start to fiddle with it a couple of fingers at a time until you can feel the release of the tumblers. And you know
There
that the
we
door is now unlocked.
Click.
That's a neat party trick.
Yep, I pull that out, and I'll just, again, sort of signal to Arlo, just being like,
And then it's at this point in time, I just smack him across the face. Like,
Who?
I'm smacking Locke.
all right,
I'm trying to pretend that we're fighting. I'm not attempting to hurt him.
got it.
Okay,
just
give
want
me
to-
a deception check, and Locke, go ahead and give me an insight check.
Ooh,
I have a 14, not bad.
22.
All right.
I'm tricky.
So you're tricky. You definitely fool the Warforged on the interior, whose heads both crane to the right immediately to see you. However, the Warforged on the outside is also fooled. And
Why have you
were-
suddenly turned on us?
I told you that I was sick and tired of all that smack you were giving me earlier. All about my mother is a wonderful, wonderful woman, and I won't hear
All you
anything
creatures
different.
of flesh are the same.
Don't disrespect mom. And then I'm just gonna keep acting like I'm hitting him.
Okay.
Yes, love.
So go ahead and you're gonna give me a sleight of hand for pulling your punches.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's a 7.
Okay. So you
can
make
take it.
contact again, popping Locke in the face. Not quite
Popping.
dropping him, but he staggers back a little bit and bumps into Arlo, who is just beyond the window. So he bumps into him, but does not fall off. Arlo stands his ground.
For once.
And the other, yes, for once, does not slip. And the other Warforges, one of them turns and starts to make his way towards you. From the top of the train, Milani, you can hear the thump, 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 thump of one very large, what you would surmise as being a phalanx or juggernaut Warforged making its way toward the back of the train. But you do only hear one set of footsteps. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna hold tight.
Okay.
I
So
kind
as
of
you wait-
whisper at this point. I'm trying to do this as nonchalant as possible, but I whisper to Locke, "Okay, act like you go down this time," and then I want to basically make it look like I completely cold cocked him, and that he's.
I'll give it my best shot. I'm very good at this.
Obviously,
I'm an
I know.
excellent actor.
I know you are, buddy, and I wink at him.
I would guess that's a deception check for my part.
I'm helping him, surely.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, Keith, yours is going to be a performance check. And it's actually going to be performance for both of you.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
There's like high
18
theater in the
for
train
me.
car.
What did you get there, Arlo?
I got an 18.
All right, so he looks good. Of course, I did mention I'm really good at this, so I have a 2.
Okay. So
Oh no.
Just
he
lie there still,
times
man.
this slap perfectly. You take a very staggered pause after his hand goes all the way through, long enough for Eberron's eyes to go wide and give you the now was 5 seconds ago, and you pop back, eventually popping out of frame as if you were staggered and stunned for a second. Let me check on the Warforged.
I don't really understand the whole, how you organics respond to this kind of thing. It's very confusing.
So not only is it confusing to you, but it's also confusing to the Warforged who has started to make his way down. Milani, from the top, you can hear the thump, thump, thump stop. What you would guess is a bit shy, maybe 5-10 feet shy of the end of the train. And the rest of you, Eberron, as you turn your head, or actually Arlo, as you turn your head in, you can see through the door the Warforged stopped short, and you can see his eyes and the little symbol on his forehead start to glow a little bit. And he turns back towards the other Warforged, who you can also see about 20 feet behind him, the sigil on his forehead glowing as well.
Man, I should have kept those ball bearings. I would
Where
like
am
to
I
do
in
something.
relation to all of this?
You are just about, you were right on the edge, kind of near where the ladder was. So
Right.
that back platform, because the train is about 25 feet wide, it is a massive train, but as it is about 20 feet wide, you are right there on the that last 5 feet, and you and Locke are occupying kind of the same space.
I would like to do something.
What would you like to do, Milani?
So as I was watching the thing come up, because it's pretty big, right?
Yeah, you weren't
and
watching it. You could hear it.
Oh, okay. If I look back, can I see it?
If you look back, you are on top of the train. It's very wide. There's no windows on the top, and you have not slipped the top lock, the hatch yet.
Okay. So then I don't do a thing.
Okay. So you stay waiting on top.
I start yelling at the other, hey, I'm going to need both of you here. This guy's too heavy for me. I know you need him out of this car. I know we're not supposed to be here. He just called my mother something terrible. I had to put him down. Can you help me carry the body?
So the Warforged turns itself back around and starts walking towards you again. No expression on its face, nothing along those lines.
Hey, I think we need both of you. I don't think this guy's strong enough.
Okay. So as he reaches the door, you can see his hand move out towards the door. He also stops, turns back, and looks to the other Warforged, who, just over his shoulder, you can see readying a great axe. And he goes to open the door.
I take a little bit of a defensive position as this starts to happen. I kind of I don't want to step on my friend Locke, but I definitely want to try to get to where if I need to make a side step, I can do so.
Okay. So we'll say that you are readying the dodge action. That's easy enough. And since Ruty doesn't play initiative, we're going to go into random here.
Okay. I
And
want to get up to where with Satine and be able to help her. Sorry,
Okay.
Satine, what's your character again?
Milani.
Milani. I'm going to head up to Milani and assist her with whatever she needs to do.
okay, go ahead and while I'm setting up our random initiative, make me a athletics check. This time you can do it regularly because the rope is there as well.
Okay.
Milani, you'll feel a slight tug, unexpected.
I got a 12.
A 12. That will be enough with the aid of the rope to make your way up to the top of the train. How are you making your way across towards her?
Very, very carefully and stealthily. I actually have like a bunch of rope and well, there's not really. Are there any like railings? Are there anything to grab onto on the top of the train?
The train does have one of those kind of like elevated secondary roofs where the very last part of it there, and it's kind of like set for trains, so there won't be any standing water. It gives you a little bit of purchase to crawl along.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to move as carefully as I can, given my history with this particular train car, which is clearly my nemesis.
Yeah. All right. So as you make your way across the car, you can do so with. You can go ahead and give me a stealth check as well, unless you were just trying to charge across this thing, which it does not sound like you're doing. But your cover is pretty taken care of because of the people that are making obnoxious noises down at the back of the train car.
Yeah, 22.
22 is going to be fantastic. You make your way up to Milani, and the two of you are right there next to the hatch. And
oh my God, there's the thing.
Yeah.
There's a big guy.
That's fine. He's not with us. All we need to do is get the crystal.
That's fair. So first up,
the half-orc is doing a great job of getting squished.
Obviously.
The first up is going to be Arlo. Sorry.
Oh, nice. All right. So is he out of the door yet?
He is in the doorway.
So is there any way that I can get inside the car, like through him, or is he?
Well, through is going to be tough without maybe moving him.
Yeah.
You are a large half-orc.
Well, of course.
Yeah, maybe he's got momentum. If you could sort of grab him and yank him through or something like that.
I've got confidence in you, man.
So
I just will it in my mind. I'm like, this half-orc can do it.
All right. So he is in the doorway, and I can't get an angle. Okay.
Would you like to try to shove him?
Not with my body. I want to. I'm trying to get an angle. So how far away is he from the where we think the gem is?
Roughly about 25-ish, maybe feet back.
Okay. I am going to ready an action with the trigger being that if he steps out of the doorway, I am going to Eldritch Blast him with my wand and use Repelling Blast to send him off the car.
To send him off the car. So if he comes out onto the platform is what you're saying.
Correct. I'm basically trying to like crouch down, get like kind of down on my knees, where if he comes out, I have an angle that I can shoot him 10 feet away.
Okay. I get it. So you're gonna we're gonna say towards the side of your compatriots, or which side do you want to?
I'm wanting him to fall.
Yeah, I know, but one way is gonna shoot him through your compatriots. The
okay, away from the compatriots then. Yeah, Locke's been through enough.
All right. So next up is going to be Eberron. So Todd.
Yes.
You are up.
Okay, so right now they're unaware of me and Milani on top of the train car. We're looking down through the glass of this latch. Or can we see through the latch?
You can't see through the latch. You can see a little bit of a glow that's there. And just so you know, Milani, you're on deck as well.
Okay.
Okay, so we're just waiting for our chance for them to be sufficiently distracted to just grab the crystal and run.
It seems so.
Do I hear the skirmishing that's happening right now with the half-orc from what side of the train?
Well, nothing has quite happened yet. You can hear the Warforge unsheath the axe, and you can hear the other one make the last little bit of the distance to the door and grab onto the handle and start to twist it.
Okay, yeah, I want to get a good look at the half-orc. Like, I want to be able to see what's happening with his situation in case I have to, like, chime in or jump down and assist.
Okay, so you're about 20 to 25 feet down into the middle of this thing on the top of the roof. So it's going to be tough for you to do that.
Okay. All right. Well, then I'm going to just save my action for whatever Milani is going to do.
Okay. Milani?
Okay. So I can see that they're distracted?
You can hear that they're distracted.
All right. I'm doing it.
Sounds like they're having a bit of a scuffle.
So I'm going to open it, drop down, grab it, and pull me up.
Sounds great.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
that sounds like a
So-
plan.
So
You make
we'll
my
say
arm
that-
much longer.
We'll say that Eberron is going to use his ready action to assist you with pulling you back out.
Yeah.
When you have the crystal. So as you drop down about 5 feet right behind the Warforged. It'll take no movement for you to actually do the dropping in. You are now face to face with the glass that's there, and you have the Warforged within 5 feet of you, but right facing the opposite direction of you. It does appear that his posture straightens as you touch down. What do you do now that you still have your action and some movement and are now in the train?
Well, I know this is stupid, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Yes.
My
Yes.
favorite.
I'm going to grab at the glass. I want the thing inside of it.
Yes.
Wait,
So
is
you're
the pillar attached to the ground?
It looks as though the pillar may or may not be at this quick instant, like you're not really sure. You just dropped in. But looking down real fast, it looks to be a pretty sturdy pillar.
Okay. Want to do the and then lift?
Okay. So are you knocking the glass off? Are you just grabbing the glass? What are you doing?
I'll knock it off. I want it to be fast. I want to get in there as fast as possible.
Okay. Are you trying to replace it or just trying to let it go shatter?
Oh, Okay, this is what I would really like to do. I would like to use one hand to lift and grab like that.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know how big it is, so.
Well, so when you drop down and you've inspected the pillar, what you look up to is a dagger sized, and we're talking like almost a stiletto size, like a very long, maybe parrying dagger, thick, broad crystal. It looks for you to be about the size of your forearm. The glass case is about another 3 or 4 inches above that.
Okay. I do have gloves on. I just want to say that.
Okay.
But they are leather. So,
Sure.
Okay, just lift glass and take the thing.
All right.
And then look up.
Sure. Make me a sleight of hand.
Okay.
Mr. Eberron, if you would like to use your bonus action.
I
here,
would
then
absolutely like to use my post. Well, actually, I think she's fine though. But yeah, I'm going like I'm just kind of I'm cheering for her.
Okay.
Careful, the glass.
23.
That type of glass can be quite slippery sometimes.
Okay, so as you say this thing, you can see the Warforged, whose posture is straightened, look straight up. You can see kind of like the red in its eyes glowing up at you and the little symbol on its forehead.
I just wave.
Okay, you wave. Satine, what did you get?
23.
23. You were able to swipe one, swipe the other, and if you want to, you can replace the glass with a little finesse.
Yeah.
All right. Swoop, swoop, swoop. You put the glass right back on it as if the crystal was never there. You tuck the crystal into your chest and look up as well. So now Eberron has 2 sets of eyes trained on him. Go ahead and give me an athletics check, Eberron.
Oh.
It's a 20. No, wait, no, it's an 8. It's a 10. It's a 10.
I'm curious how you got between those two numbers.
Yeah.
I got runes. These runes. I got rune dice.
yeah,
Get some
Hard to
legible
read.
dice, Todd.
Yeah.
It's whatever he had in the studio, right? All right, so as you start to yank up, Milani, you feel the pull and you start to rise up off the ground. And then all of a sudden you feel like this jerking motion as you kind of stop in the middle, suspended about 5 to 10 feet off of the ground, still needing to rise about another 5 to 10 feet. And the Warforged begins to turn. However, the Warforged at the other end of the train does, in fact, take a step out. With Eberron, your back is not Eberron.
Arlo.
Arlo.
Curse you two for picking names that both start with A.
Hey,
Don't you know
I had it
anything about
first,
Storytime?
and mine's better.
Okay.
No, that's not true.
All right, so Arlo, you had taken a step back and put your back against Locke. As the other Warforged steps out onto the train's platform in the back of the car, you can go ahead and use your reaction to make your Eldritch Blast.
20 on the die.
That's a crit?
Yes.
Okay, do you even want to roll me damage?
No, I don't. I want you to tell me something cool.
All right, well, since you got a 20, we're going to go ahead and, you're going to hit enough space here to knock him off. So, as he steps out, pulling the door, sliding it open, going to take that step out, you actually turn and angle yourself just enough to be able to catch him on the right shoulder. You start to charge up the energy blast, and this big purple orb starts to form around the edge of your wand, and a large beam just explodes out of it with a secondary pulse coming right after it. The damage portion, were you to roll damage, tears off his right arm, and the blast itself, that secondary pulse, sends him scudding off the side of the train, toppling down towards the neon lights and the gritty city below.
I want to catch his arm as it falls, and then just put the hand in front of Locke's face and say, "You need a hand."
Okay, so as you reach forward, because you crit, I will not make you make any type of check for that. You just reach forward, snatch the arm before it hits the ground, turn around and hand it to Locke. Hey, you need a hand with that?
Oh, I said it cooler than that, Rudy.
You can say it however you want to say it, but don't.
All right. I'm done. I think that's enough.
All right. So after that, Warforged 1 is gone. And Locke, you actually had the opportunity to respond.
All right. I don't have a snappy one-liner because that's just not who I am. Am I prone or am I... what's my situation? Okay.
You're just standing there on the side.
So we've got the door open at this point, and looking through that, do I see the other Warforged in the car?
If you lean forward and look through the window, you can see the other Warforged that is still facing you, and you can see an elf dangling precariously in the center of the train.
Well, I definitely like to open the door and move towards him to draw his attention.
Okay. So you push past the hand, removing the hand, pushing the half-orc. Actually, I apologize. No, I don't, because you held the action. So I will. So you push past the hand and move in towards the Warforged.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what would you like to do now?
Well, as a bonus action, I would like to rage.
All right.
So essentially, all my plating sort of rattles up and expands slightly. And I think my symbol on my forehead glows to match his as I charge up with radiant energy.
Okay.
Just because, I feel bad for the guys. We just ripped off his hand, and we're all Warforged here. I would just say, stand down.
Okay,
Ooh.
so you're not going to approach and hit him. You're just moving up to him and telling him to stand down.
Yes, and I would stay at least 10 feet away from him, so he does have to move to engage me if he wants to hit me.
Okay, go ahead and give me an intimidation check, and you can do it with advantage because you've got this radiant energy, and you're shifting your plates, and it really looks like you're about to move into
He's bristling.
zealot mode.
Yep, 16.
A 16. All right.
Kind of scary looking.
So as this happens, and with the vision of his ally just being blasted off the side, he quickly surmises that he is outnumbered, and the tactical thing to do is to drop his great axe, which he does, raises his hand, and steps back against some of the steerage cargo.
All right.
All right. With that, and that would end up being his turn as well, we are going to shuffle back around, but I believe that we have a certain Warforged on the top that needs to make another athletics check.
Man, we chose the wrong guy to be on top of this thing. And it's a critical one.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
So as you go to yank again, you can feel the plating in your hands start to tear at the rope. And Mamani, you can make me an acrobatics check as you drop down to the train car.
Well, that's going to be a 15.
15. All right. So despite the setback upstairs, you drop down, landing steadily on your feet, and just in enough time for you to catch through the window your compatriot on the sky coach pulling up alongside, seeing that you actually have the crystal ready to go. And it's your turn.
I want out. I'm still attached to the rope.
You are still attached to the rope, but the rope is not attached to anything, including the portion of it that was being held onto above. It just kind of flops down on the ground next to you.
Oh, balls. Okay, I'm looking around for a place I can hide.
So to the left of you, you see the Warforged has dropped his axe. He has stepped back, and your ally is standing there with his hand out, bristling with radiant energy. It looks like the way to the door is clear.
I mean, if we're fighting, I might as well, right? I'm going to go ahead and do my thing. I'm going to, can I rapier dagger?
In order to use two weapons, number one, you would need 2 rounds in order to pull them out, but then number two, you would have to put down the crystal.
I put it in my boobs.
Okay.
Actually,
I'm going to say that
put
would
it in
take
my
at
top.
least a bonus action.
Okay, then that is what I will do.
Okay, so you will use your bonus action to use your boob pocket, and you will yank your rapier out and make a stab at the unarmed and standing back Warforged. Yeah. You can make it an advantage because he's definitely not trying to take any type of.
Okay, well, that's a 24. That's a 9
Okay.
die.
Go ahead and roll me some damage.
That is a 7.
Okay. You shiv the Warforged, catching him very easily under the plate for 7 hit points. And you see his head turn to the right, looking directly at you. And the little symbol that was on his head, his little rune, went from being a kind of subdued blue to a very bright red. And anybody with a decent amount of perception would notice that your driver, Grelick, on the outside, his eyes go super wide, noticing what situation has happened.
Uh-oh.
And I guess I already bonus action. I'm in it to win it. So.
Okay. So next up is Arlo.
All right. So we have Grelick flying the sky coach. Is he close to the train at this point in time?
Yes. Grelick is right on the outside of the train, about in the middle area.
Okay, to where we are going to have to like jump to him, or is it more like a step?
You would need to basically, whenever you guys get outside the train, you would probably be able to step out onto what is there, unless the magic that you've used might have alerted anybody nearby.
Okay. All right. So I mutter something under my breath about, he was surrendered. I don't know why we're trying to kill everything, but I guess if we're going to do it, I'm going to go ahead also. And then I pull out the wand and try to carefully aim around my bristling Warforged radiant glowing companion to try to smack it again. That's an 18.
Okay. All right, so you step in, and you are able to catch him just barely. Go ahead and roll me damage.
Yeah, okay.
We can't leave witnesses.
That is 11 damage.
All right.
And then I'm going to go ahead and choose to push him backwards 10 feet also.
Go ahead. All right. So you blow him right by Milani, who now has a very clear path to the door. And he has been skid back about 10 feet down the car towards the opposite end.
And then I just simply want to yell out, "We've got to split. They're on to us."
And you do so. Eberron, it's your turn.
Okay, so everyone's in the train car now.
Yep, and you can see to the left your ride has arrived.
That's excellent. So Milani, does she have a clear means of escape out here?
From looking down into the car, you can see that she definitely has a very easy movement to get straight out there.
Okay, so I don't have to worry about her situation anymore. Or worrying about making it worse. Okay, I'm gonna move over to the train. I'm gonna move over to the to our ship.
Okay, so you slide over to the side of the train and use the rest of your movement to jump down onto the waiting skiff, and it starts to throttle back a little bit towards the back end of the car where it dropped you guys off.
Okay.
Locke, you are up.
Okay, how badly injured does this guy appear to be?
But he does not appear to be leaking.
Okay. I am basically I want to cover Milani leaving. And at this point, we're fighting. So I would try to move past her and engage him.
Okay. So as you move past and you engage him, what are you doing? How are you engaging him?
I am going to smack him with my hammer.
Okay.
And I'm trying to sort of essentially shove him in the chest with it. I'm not trying to do a big wide swing. I'm just trying to not continue to be containing him on that side.
Okay. So as there was no damage done, and since you didn't take any damage, you didn't deal any damage on this last one, the radiant energy within your plate starts to fade away as you make your way up to it. So it kind of looks like you basically did this big intimidation factor thing, and then as seeing that happen, becoming a little deflated, but still in your very large and intimidating posture, move forward past to engage him and shove him back just a little bit further, yes?
Sure.
Okay. Go ahead and make me that, and you can still do this one at advantage with the shove, just as the rage begins to fade.
Sure. That is good, because that's a natural 19, so that's 24.
Okay. You're able to shove him back another 5 feet. He can clearly tell, like you can see in his eyes, probably only as another Warforged can, that he does not want this to be his final operation, and he kind of goes to having his hands back up, and you can see his not as worried about you because of how you've been posturing, but more so that his eyes are sketching behind you to study your friends.
Right, understood.
And he appears to kind of settle himself into a very evasive, braced position.
I want to yell, there's no need for further violence, brother.
Okay, so you yell that from outside the train, and you can see that Grelick looks at you and gives you a very strong nod. And it is now, Milani, your turn. And Locke, you're on deck.
We shouldn't leave witnesses. But then I leave.
Okay.
It's like a little Hulk pout.
All right, so you do that. You rush out the back of the train and drop down on to the waiting skiff along with Eberron.
Right.
And Locke, it's your turn. Arlo, you're on deck.
Okay, so Milani did make it out.
Yes, she is out and now on the Sky Coach waiting.
Time to go, guys. Or
all right. Well, I'm going to attempt to back out. Back up. I don't want to turn my back to him, but I'm backing out towards the to get out.
Okay. So you go ahead and take your movement to move backwards, keeping your hands in a posture that let him know that you're ready for him.
Right.
But you are not making an aggressive move. And then he also appears to be maintaining the same kind of stance that he had before. His eyes, again, not really trained on you, more staring down Arlo, whose turn it is now.
So where I'm at in the door, I'm gonna let Locke pass me first to where I'm the only one still on the train, and then I just simply point the wand in the direction of the other Warforged, and I just say, "Listen, I don't want to kill you, and you don't want to die, so just keep sitting. We'll all be fine." And then I kind of hop out, and then I'm getting ready to jump onto the Sky Coach.
Okay, so as you take your steps backwards, you say your very dramatic lines to the Warforged, who appears to be in a very staggered position. And when you point the wand over to the other side, where the other Warforged had gotten flung off, you can start to see another couple of Sky Coaches making their way close with the Brellish blue on the underside striking its way towards the Keen, which you are very quickly able to identify as Sharn Watch. Those skiffs continue to move forward, making their way closer towards you as you leap off onto your skiff, and you pull away with Grelick taking control from the lightning rail and all of the little conductor stones lighting its way up into the beginning, up in front of it. As you guys pull off and maneuver towards the towers, you strike off, of course, heading towards the Dagger River to the west. And you can hear a very loud, seemingly magically amplified voice yell behind you. "Citizens, cease and desist. Pull over."
I just simply kind of stand up and say, "Ain't no citizens here," and salute. And I say, "Punch it, Grelick."
All right.
Hold on tight.
As you do, you go ahead and give him the wave with your wand, and he hits the gas. You can see now all of a sudden the dancing lights reverberating in a neon blue and red spinning around the Sky Coach as both of them rocket after you. You guys continue to pull around, weaving back and forth through the towers, making your way up. And the storm that you had moved through earlier seems to have intensified. Now the rumbling thunder has become an aggressive lightning. You can see Grelick looking a little bit concerned as he looks over you and he says, "Were any of you trained on these vehicles? Does anybody have waterborne proficiency, water vehicle proficiency?"
I fear I'm a land proficiency guy.
Yeah, I'm a land proficiency guy, but I can try to assist him.
So then he kind of looks at you guys. You kind of all looked back and forth, and you're like, "Not really." And he goes, "Fine. Somebody that can drive a wagon will suffice."
I can drive a wagon.
Okay.
I say, how hard can it be?
Oh.
So you make your way to the
basically
front.
the same thing.
Yeah. You make your way to the wheel, where he is at, not in the front, but sort of in the center of the Sky Coach, and take over for him. You see him walk around to the back, start to climb the little, the small awning that's back there, and before he stands up onto his feet, he looks down to the rest of you and he goes, "You have to protect me." And then you can see him kind of disappear over it. And the next time you see him standing up above on the back, his hands outstretched towards the sky. His feet seem to be locked into stirrups of sorts. And as you see that, you can see the dragon mark across his arm and chest start to glow this light blue radiant color. And as that happens, you can kind of start to see a little bit of a sphere encase the ship as the first bolt of lightning slams into him and is slightly diffused. And he yells, "Climb, Warforged!" Now.
Oh, he means the ship.
Yes. Very good.
Please don't make him climb again.
No, he means the ship. All right, I started sending the ship upwards.
All right. So with that, we have the two ships that are chasing you from behind, and your ship making its way up. You can see the first ship starting to make its way to the right, and Mr. Arlo. It does not take you very much to notice the wand that is extending out of the first officer's hand and pointed at you, and you can see the glow of energy starting to surround it in a brilliant orange color. And it's your turn.
All right. So as that happens, I want to position myself. I'm assuming the Sky Coach has some kind of cover, like that we can kind of kneel down just a little bit. And
it has kind of a little awning, little space there where you would essentially be able to keep like the logs and ship's documents. Nothing much bigger than like a 5-foot shed kind of on it. The entire thing is only about 15 feet wide in total.
I'm just going to find that cover. I'm going to peek out behind the cover at that one that I saw, and I'm going to level the wand Eldritch Blast at that wielder.
Okay, go ahead and give me an attack roll.
That was a 15.
A 15 will hit.
All right. I am going to try to push it back 10 feet out of the car.
Okay, you're able to go ahead and roll me damage.
All right, that was 4 damage.
All right. So you're able to blast him back across on the deck of the ship, and he does skid back a little ways, and you can see him kind of reassess the situation a little bit and look over to one of the other officers that are on board, and you can see him turn and yell something back. And it is now, Eberron, your turn, and it's good because you notice the tower coming towards you very quickly as you climb. Go ahead and make me a... this is actually just going to be a flat D20 roll using your intelligence.
Okay.
Because you do not have the ability to pilot this thing very well.
16.
16. You were able to maneuver around the first tower. You can see that you cut it close enough that both skiffs behind you start to weave and ping into the side of one of the towers. The X one pinging you also kind of on the other one as you cut through a very narrow passage and continue to head up skyward, trying to make a break through the clouds. Still, your guess, a couple of 100 feet away from it, but you guys are moving at a very accelerated pace.
I'm so wonderfully excited. I'm like, everyone, I did a thing, and it's my first day.
No one hears you. It's too loud with the wind.
All right, so that ship behind you, you can quickly see both, actually, anybody that is not currently driving can see that somebody moves up from the center portion, the little overhang kind of thing that is pretty much the same on both ships. And you can see that this guy appears to be carrying a large metal, like a large metal wall. And as soon as he kind of plants it on the front of the ship, you can see him take out a big wrench and it starts to glow as he starts to starts to wrench it into place, bolting it down onto the floor panels. And Locke, it is your turn.
Okay, so he's making this wall on his ship?
On his ship, on the second
Okay.
one. The first one has not started to do this yet.
All right. Range is not really my thing. So unless they appear to be trying to hop onto our ship, I'm going to do what is obviously the most important, helpful thing I can do, which is give advice to Avron, excuse me. And so I want to stand by Avron and be like, "Go left, no, lower," and shout.
I'm just like, I'm a leaf in the wind. I'm a leaf in the wind.
Because I know how to steer a cart, so I don't know if that actually counts as help or not. But I'm definitely going to be offering my best helpful advice.
Together, we're two warforged that know how to steer carts.
Well, and I appreciate that we basically thus have a pattern of let me offer advice to the thing you were doing when you probably don't. So that's what I'm doing.
All right, and as far as I know, this spinning leaf in the wind thing is a blade leaf, just whipping down off of a tree, getting ready to cut through anybody that touches it.
Exactly.
All right. So after that, Milani, you are up, and you can see that the wall is being built while the other Sharn Watch skiff makes its way along the left-hand side of you guys and seems to be approaching for a boarding.
Okay, so that means they're within 60 feet. So as they're approaching, I want to look over at whoever's driving it, and I want to do...
Oh, that's not me.
I want to do Toll the Dead by headbanging the air, because this is how I imagine it going. My Toll the Dead is...
Nice.
Boom, I hit it in the head, but it connects on the other side.
Okay, so
Like
you
a WWE move.
A remote headbutt? Is that what we're actually talking about here?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I
All
love
right.
it. Satine's
So-
remote headbutt.
So what kind of rogue did you go?
I'm an assassin.
So we're so you picked up
Elf.
you're an actual full elf. Okay, you picked up Toll the Dead as your cantrip. Understood.
Cantrip, yes, I did.
Yes. Not cantrip, can. All right. So as you who are you actually trying to toll? You're trying to toll
The driver, so that he goes...
Okay. Go ahead and make me a I believe that's a wisdom saving throw.
Well, it's a wisdom saving throw.
All right. So go ahead and make me a wisdom saving throw, Mr. Kendrick.
No, not my dude.
No,
the
not
other
me.
The other driver. I don't want to hurt my guy.
Where are you going with this?
Why have you betrayed me?
All right. Then that's fine. I understand now. You are definitely going to succeed on that. Go ahead and roll me your damage.
Oh my god! That's a 7.
A 7. So he staggers a little bit, seeming to be rather perturbed with this shockwave that seems to have gone through his consciousness. I'm sure that he is seeing his life flash and death flash before his very eyes as you troll the dead. Next up is going to be, let's see, we did it. Arlo went first. Locke is helping Eberron, and Milani just went. So the Sharn Watch guy, even though he staggers a little bit in the driving, it actually makes him turn a little harder into you. So he slams into the side of your vessel, and I'm going to go ahead and need a very reflexive handling check there in the same manner as before from Eberron. And everybody else that's standing, which should be everybody, can make me a dexterity saving throw.
So I am rolling
15 on
just
the
a
dex
flat. intelligence check, right?
You're rolling the flat intelligence check to do the wheel, and because you have hold on the wheel, you don't have to make this this save.
15.
Miss 15? Okay.
Yeah.
So you're able to absorb the hit. You can feel kind of a little bit of creaking and damage as this thing kind of like yanks itself off. Mr. Baker, what did you pick up?
Thanks to my amazing barbarian reflexes, I had an 18.
An 18. You managed to stay on your feet, Miss
Well
Phoenix.
done. Well done, brother.
8. You topple over onto the side of the deck and slam into the high railing off to the side. You are prone. Mr. Bradford.
15.
I heard they were more dexterous.
You are also able to keep your footing as you see one of the first guards from the Sharn's Watch make landing on the deck there. And being that there is one driver, but a Warforged between them, he is going to make a flurry of attacks at a large, not still glowing, but somewhat zealot-looking Warforged.
I'm ready.
The first one is going to be a 13, which will not hit.
King.
The next one will be a 19 on the die, which will clink off of your armor and deal 8 bludgeoning damage.
All right, got it.
And the second Starn Watchman also leaps off and makes an set of attacks against Eberron. The first one being a 17, while the second one being a 9.
17 hits.
And that will hit for 10 damage.
Okay.
Ouch. Let's see. The second set of the second skiff now seems to have the wall set up. The artificer moves back into the cabin behind that, and Mr. Bradford, you see a firebolt come fizzling at you, but whizzing right past you. As you guys go ahead and start back with Locke. You were up top, and Arlo, you were on deck.
Okay. Well, now that there's one that is actually attacking Eberron, I want to do what I can to protect him. So bonus action, radiant up again.
All right.
And I am going to. I've got my maul. And I'm just gonna smack him.
As my bonus action, with my special subclass, I'm going to assist his attack by also like I'm steering, and you just see me. I'm not even looking, and I'm just like punch behind me in my disjointed way.
So I'm gonna have to actually you for a half second here. Because it's not a reaction, it's a bonus action, and it's not your turn.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's fine. I will be reckless, because I'm looking to draw attacks to me anyway. So I've got advantage on the check.
Yeah, and you're glowing now.
Yes.
So,
and so that will be a 17.
A 17 is definitely going to hit.
And that is... all right, with my radiant damage, that is... Oh, and my rage bonus. That's a total of 20.
20. And what weapon were you using?
Oh, I'm sorry, 18. I have a misplaced thing. I'm using a maul, so it's 3d6 plus 3 base plus the 1d6 plus 1.
Right.
Nice.
So, sir... Kill it.
Plus my rage damage, but yeah, 18 is the total.
Cool. Go ahead and describe to me how you kill it.
So they leap onto the thing. The one guy smacks me a little. The other guy slips by to Eberron, and I just again completely ignore the guy who actually is attacking me and just sweep around with the maul and just knock the guy right off the boat.
Okay. I should have asked you if you were attempting to subdue with your giant maul, or not. But
Yeah, this is knocking a guy off the boat. So
we can leave it
yeah.
ambiguous in the fact that he disappears into the rain and clouds below.
What was he, a man or was he a warforged?
'Twas a man.
Oh well.
See, you know,
whatever.
those guys,
he's
they
a
die
fleshy.
anyway.
He's just gonna
Yeah.
bounce.
But,
All right. And you anything else? You use your action, your bonus action, your movement.
You know, to the degree I can, I am, of course, I did a reckless attack. You know, I just turned back to face the guy who's attacking me.
Okay, you're fine. There's no worry about the flanking at this moment.
Yeah. I'm just saying he does have advantage because I did a reckless attack. So.
Yeah. Arlo, you just saw the fizz of a firebolt blast by your over your shoulder. You turn back and you can see the guys now ducked, semi-ducking, gaining some cover from this big metal wall. What would you like to do?
How many sky coaches, how many popos are following us right now?
It appears that there are 2 of the watch on your, one to your immediate right and one to the one right behind you.
Okay, so there's
And
a
you're
little
facing
bit.
back.
There's a little bit of distance between our sky coach and the one that the wand is firing at me. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
There's about, I would say, 40 feet or so.
So there's only one person still driving the one that is to our immediate right. Is that correct?
There is a driver, and you don't know if there's anybody inside the little compartment.
okay.
But
All right.
from what you would surmise, you've seen 3 on this other ship. There's no reason not to believe there's 3 on this one.
All right. So the driver's within 30 feet of that other ship, right?
The driver is within 30 feet. The driver of the one that hit you guys is
Yes.
within 30 feet of you. The
Okay.
one that has the shield behind it is about 50 feet back.
Okay, perfect. So I want to just kind of take my wand and I just stick it right up under my chin, kind of like I'm concentrating on something, and then I want to look into the mind of the one that is driving, the one that's practically docked with us, and I simply want to suggest that he get into formation in front of the other police boat and slow down for new orders.
Okay, so you're casting
Suggestion, yes.
Okay.
That's a 14 DC, I think.
Okay, and for everybody that's hanging out there, using your handy-dandy D&D Beyond, why don't you go ahead and read off the spell for everyone?
Yeah, you suggest a course of activity limited to a sentence or 2, and magically influence a creature you can see within range that can hear and understand you. Creatures that can't be charmed are immune to this effect. The suggestion must be worded in a manner as to make the course of action sound reasonable. Asking the creature to stab itself, throw itself onto a spear, immolate itself, or do some other obviously harmful act ends the spell. The target
Absolutely.
must make a wisdom saving throw.
So, he rolled a natural 4. Unless your DC is roughly a 7, he's going to have a hard time beating you. He does start to, it appears that he's going to start and move back. You can already start to see a little bit of throttling going back. While you are currently watching the many ways that this guy believes that his life could end, while the trolling of dead is still happening through his mind.
Yeah, and then I just want to move at this point. I just want to tuck myself for full cover behind our little 5-foot shack thing on the back of our boat.
Sure, you move into full cover. Very easy. All right, and next up is going to be that boat, actually. So he goes ahead and starts to throttle back, moving himself back into a little bit of a formation with the other boat, right on your tail, about 5 or so feet back from that. You can see the other Sharn Watchman that is already currently on your boat kind of have this weird look on his face about like, well, what is that? As the next little bit of cloud parts out in front of Eberron, and you can see a bridge coming up. You can see people kind of moving across the top of the bridge, and nothing really underneath the bridge, except for some support. Which way would you like to go?
Oh man. So I could go under the bridge. You go above the bridge.
Those seem to be the two choices.
You can go through the bridge if you would try.
Let's not try that one.
There's like 3 choices. Okay, let's be clear. I could go along the bridge. I'm gonna go under the bridge.
Okay. So go ahead and roll me your intelligence steering check here, as you do your best to reason with how to make this flying thing act like a. And
there's still a guy in the ship, right?
There's still a guy currently on your ship. Yes.
That's fighting my brother. And my brother, I mean, he is of Warforged.
Right.
Okay. I would also, aside from steering, I'd like to take a bonus action to assist his fighting. Whenever that happens.
Yep. Sounds good.
And I got another 16. I'm not kidding. It's just like 14.
It's because of my excellent advice.
Yes.
It is.
Get down! Steer the boat!
So, as you guys make your way, as you kind of dip a little bit below that, the rest of your stomachs, except those of you that have stomachs, kind of lurch a little bit up into your chest as you bop down a little bit. The ship that is following you guys, the first one, has no problem making the adjustment, as it is very much on follow detail. The one behind that actually rolls a natural 1 and slams into the sky bridge. Bits of rock and reinforcement metal and all the little gnashing sounds come tearing through it as what was once a sky bridge also explodes in this massive kind of basically looks like a lightning blast hits it as the ship just rockets through. And you hear the scream of a bunch of people launched from this platform and sent falling towards the ground. You can hear Grelix from the top of the little awning yell, "I'm sure they've got falling stones! Go!" As
it was a bridge too far.
It was a bridge too much, at least. And Milani, you are up.
Okay, so I'm prone right now, but I'm next to a rail. So I go ahead and tie myself off to that rail.
Okay, using the last little bit of footage.
Yeah, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump off.
Okay.
As I jump off, I would like to, whoever I look back and see is doing the most damage to my friends, if there's anybody left. Actually, no, I'm going, yeah.
Go ahead.
Who's left?
So what you have kind of hanging out waiting is, hold on, let me just say. You do have this one ship that is behind you. You still have a gentleman that is on board. And you still have a... duration of this. Oh, wow. Okay, so you still have the one ship that is behind you just following in formation that seems to just have a driver on it at the moment. And you have you have one guy that has been rocketed off the side. You have one more person that is on board standing very close to Locke.
Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and toll the brain of the driver behind me as I jump off in like that slow motion to get like, I want to swoop around like, so I can grab on the other side. But as I'm in the middle of the air, I want to boom, like as I come across. So like, here's the ship behind me. And then here's our ship. I want to be like, toll, and then.
Okay, so are you trying to jump under it or back behind? Like, what direction are you jumping off of this thing? If you're tying the rope off, out of the physical.
Instead of down, I want to go like, just kind of swing across around.
How is around working?
Maybe like, just kind of use myself as a pendulum to like go down and
like
up.
Underneath.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
It's more like instead of dropping straight down, I want to like jump out, kind of like a Cirque du Soleil, you know, when they're like. Whoosh. instead of down.
Okay. So because you're propelling yourself in a little bit against gravity kind of situation, go ahead and give me an athletics check for that.
That is a natural 20.
Okay. So you are able to defy gravity and physics as the ship is kind of making its turn. Using the momentum of that, you're able to judge it very well, make your rotation around that, and you can go ahead and troll the dead again. And this time, he will get a 14. What's your DC?
12.
Okay. So he does not... you don't take damage, or he does not take damage from the thing, but he still seems to be clearly distracted by something else. The gentleman on the ship with Locke is going to go ahead and take his swings, and these are going to be at advantage now because you are still in the reckless
That's
mode.
correct.
So the first... Oh, man, I actually rolled bad. That's what I get when I just grab random dice. So the first attack is not going to hit. The second one likely will hit with a 19.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. And the damage on that one will be 14.
Okay, and damage is halved against me because I'm raging.
Yep,
It's just physical
just
damage. So 7 points. All right, I can take it.
And the guy for suggestion, I believe, is just going to hang out and continue to do his formation move with you. And then, since you're back there watching this all happen, Eberron, you can see out of the little 5-foot corridor a very large Warforged juggernaut step out of the back, and he starts taking a running leap to clear the distance between you between the ship and your skiff.
No.
Oh, yeah. And let's see how he does. Well, he is going to launch himself off, fighting against the distance, the wind, and the trajectory that you guys are moving on. And he appears to fall short. That's what everybody watching thinks, until you feel the back of the ship thump, and kind of pitch a little bit up. And you can see anybody that is watching, so I guess not Adam, but anybody else that was back there watching can see that his hand is holding onto that. Definitely Milani, who is flipping down underneath it. You can see the giant Warforged legs dangling behind him, and his other hand holding a battle axe that is also ripped off to the side. As he dangles there, we have a warlock who is hiding behind the...
Hey, I'm not hiding.
behind...
I'm taking tactical cover.
Okay, that's fair. Taking tactical cover, and we hear a crack of thunder almost instantly, meaning that you guys are right in the center of this cloud, and feel the lightning jolt through around the boat as it strikes into Grelic, and he staggers, dropping down to one knee. Seemingly, his dragon mark is now brighter, almost more, you would assume, charged than just about any dragon mark you've ever seen fire off, including any of you that have been either fortunate or unfortunate enough to see an aberrant mark. As that happens, it is Milani's turn as you whip across underneath the boat and begin to rise over the railing on the other side. You have not necessarily landed yet. You would need to contort your body to do so.
So I don't know that the suggestion happened. All I know is that there's this thing happening, because I was on the other side when the suggestion happened. So yeah. I'm not going to metagame, and I'm still going to try to take that guy out because I just want the ship to go somewhere else.
Sure.
And I'm having such a good time with the propulsion of this ship. I'm just gonna. So this is what I would like to do. I would like to stay in stealth mode, but be like swinging on the back, just like boom, boom, trying to get him to like.
Okay.
As I jump across and do the same thing again. I don't want to go over. I want to grab the back and then push myself off again to swing around.
Sure. So what I was going to do is just narrate that you drift up to the side. You're not really in stealth mode. Number one, you're yelling magic. Number two, you're swinging very visibly across this thing. But you are definitely in acrobatic mode as you swing up to the side, or I guess you're swinging into the back, yes?
It's more just like back and forth this way.
Okay. So you rocket down and around the back of the ship. You can stretch enough rope to get back there, and you kind of rise up, and you can see the driver who's seemingly in some sort of daze as you get this little smirk, and you can go ahead and roll me damage.
So this guy has not taken any damage before, right? Correct?
He's taken 7 points from you.
Oh, great. Okay. So then that means it's a D12.
Sorry, 4 points from you. The other one had.
All right. That is 11 points of damage.
11 points of damage. Nice shot.
Bring that noggin.
Yeah, so you troll the dead, stagger him. You can all of a sudden see a fear kind of raise across his eyes as you make kind of the little lift there at the end of the railing and then start to descend back around it. The next blast of lightning cracks through the air. But Eberron seems to have gotten a little bit of a sixth sense about this. I'm assuming this is Eberron. Yes. And go ahead and make me some sort of reflexive movement with your intelligencing cart steering.
Don't get hit. Move the cart.
It's a 12.
A 12. So you do not dodge the lightning as it strikes at you. But luckily, a certain gentleman is still up there attracting the lightning, and it strikes him. As he was staggered, he is now blown off the back.
Whoa.
And he disappears into the night. All you see is the last little bit of a glow. And you can feel the airship not stop, not sputter out, but noticeably slow, as you have now lost one of the prime driving implements of the ship.
Oh, no.
And, Arlo, as you tactically gain cover, what would you like to do now? Seeing the lightning strike your ship.
I say something about, I'm sure he's got a token. And then that's
the name of the adventure now. I'm sure he has a token.
I'm sure. All right. So what is physically around me close by at this point in time? Are we still pretty high up in the air?
You guys are very high up in the air. You are very near to what looks like the largest mass of clouds above you, but there are a lot of mists and gray kind of floating around below you that do pull a lot of shimmer from the neon lights that strike up the sides of the tower, glowing off of different window panes and colored glass and stuff like that.
Do I have a sense of how much farther we're trying to get?
No.
Okay. All right. So then I am going to remove myself from my place of tactical cover for a moment and head over. I felt the lurch on the back of the ship, right?
Yep.
It's
you
fair
absolutely
to say,
did.
right?
And you saw the lightning strike just above you.
Right. So I'm going to reach the wand over at the Warforged that is hanging.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to blast. That's a 20 on the die. I am
Very nice. I was going to
it.
give you advantage on it,
Yeah.
but
I don't need it.
go ahead.
All right.
Kill it.
So 9 plus. So that's 12 points of damage, and I want to move it back 10 feet also. Or possibly 500 feet. Or however high up we are.
When I say kill it, you guys can narrate the
Oh, okay. I thought you were just rooting me on. All right, so reach across kind of behind the ship, and I see the Warforged, and I just kind of spurt an Eldritch Blast out of the wand, and as it hits, it rips this one's arm off again. So there's just a Warforged Juggernaut arm hanging on the back of the ship now, and the Warforged falls with his axe. I don't know if he died or not. We didn't see the actual, impact. Pretty sure he did, though. I didn't see a token.
Yeah. Okay. So he disappears into the clouds below you. Little bits of rain, making the sides of him kind of flicker with this light as he falls through the clouds, and the different colors of neon are kind of being picked up across his metal, very wet, very shiny frame, and he just rockets down towards the ground. You guys then hear a very loud, maybe like a magic mouth, increasing the sound of you guys hear like prestidigitation, increasing and amplifying the sound of a couple of other sirens. And right in front of you appears a magic mouse that says, stop, pull over, and you will only be arrested.
I put my hand over it. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm trying to stare. Thank you for talking, though. I really appreciate it.
All right, so as you do that, you now see on both sides of you two more skiffs come moving in their way. You can also see in front of you what looks to be like a slight break of moonlight coming through the clouds. And the first one is going to... Oh, actually, Locke, you are up.
I want to just deal with this guy who's been hitting me.
Yes.
So since I did get a bonus way back when from Eberron using a bonus action, I don't need to be reckless about it. So I'm just going to try and knock him off the boat.
Sounds good.
All right. That is a 17.
A 17 is going to be enough to... You're pushing him back, I'm assuming?
If that looks like it will work with 5 feet, yes.
Okay. A 17 is enough to push him back towards the railing, but not necessarily off the boat.
All right.
So you've got him pressed basically against the railing. He's going to be right there. On the next one, you use your advantage. You still have a bonus action if you would like.
Is he just hitting me, or is he holding a weapon?
He is holding a great axe.
All right. I'll just say, drop it.
Okay. Because you did not need to use your advantage for the push, which is granted your athletics check because you're raging, I'll let you go ahead and use an intimidation here with the help of your driver.
All right. That would be a 14.
A 14.
When he yells it, I also turn and look from the driver's side of this thing, and my eyes glowing red.
All right. So what was your roll against it?
14.
14. All right. So I got a 17 on the die. He looks back at you and just goes, "I've got reinforcements," and he swings.
All right.
A 19 on the die.
Hit.
And an 18 on the die.
All right.
So that's going to be a 4 and 11, 15 points of damage, which are halved for you because you're racing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you take the two quick swipes with this great axe back and forth after you've pushed him up on the onto the railing. And next up is the gentleman who sees the two of skiffs start to pull ahead of you without your little speed booster guy, who was shot off the edge by a lightning bolt. You can see them edging you out, starting to move in front of you, and starting to kind of turn in a little bit, perhaps creating a little bit of a blockade. This perhaps is the only thing between you and freedom.
Is it my turn?
It is your turn. What type of maneuver would you like?
I'm looking kind of at the tactical situation of this. I'm like wondering if it's better to be on the ground at this point because this whole air thing is not working out for us so much.
You do know that your rendezvous extraction point is on the opposite side of the Dagger River.
It's on the opposite side. How far away?
From where you are in the middle of these clouds, you're not really sure. But
yeah, I'm diving. I'm going to get really close to the ground.
Okay. All right. So you go ahead and push forward. That's going to basically rocket you down below them. Go ahead and make me your check.
Okay, and I mean, I want to do it gingerly enough because I'm hoping. I don't know what. Well, let's see. Is the combat still going on inside the ship?
There's a still combatant on the ship with you.
But he doesn't really need a bonus action from me. I mean, he doesn't really need He doesn't need a advantage.
You do have somebody that's dangling off the side of the ship.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to assist. I'm like, hold on, elf person.
Okay. All right. So the elf person feels inspired a little bit by what you're doing, and by your yelling. And you go ahead and push down. Go ahead and give me your roll.
17.
17. You were able to duck underneath them as they start to make a barricade in front of you, and you rocket down towards the ground, now picking up speed. Anything that you try and dodge here, including towers, bridges, etc., is going to be very tricky.
I am not a leaf in the wind. I am a tree in the wind.
You are a stone in the air.
I am, yeah. I'm a mountain in the air.
Mm-hmm. So you dip back down, basically turning your nose up at what would have essentially been freedom above the clouds as you turn your ship down. And we move back into the random initiative. Milani, you were up first.
Okay, so I'm going to try to get myself. I don't know if this is true, but I feel like maybe we're going down and I'm tied up to the thing and I'm kind of like, whoa, is this true or not true?
Well, as he starts to tip it down, it's definitely going to give you a change in momentum as you pull, as it pulls you along. But you would be able to give me a perception check to see what you're really picking up from this situation.
That's a 16 on the die, but there's a lot more added to that.
Okay, well, with your lot more added to that, I'm sure that you would be able to pick up kind of the surrounding situation here, watching as you see him arc down and just kind of like trailing you along behind it now. And you can turn around and see Arlo standing at the back of the ship, as well as the ship that's behind you now is roughly about 10, 15 feet. And the driver is actually, I need to do a check for him since you broke his thing. Okay. Yeah, he is able to keep the momentum and follow you guys. He is actually nearing even closer. And you see him take a little bit of an evasive action to the left. And as he does, he kind of disappears around a tower from you and your line of sight. So that is what you see, Milani, as it's your turn. What would you like to do?
Okay, so I want to get back on the ship.
Okay.
And there's still that guy on the ship?
On your ship, yes. Go ahead and give me an athletics check to kind of like draw yourself in with the rope.
Woo! That is a 19 on the die with a 22.
Great. So I'm going to say that you use your cunning action to be smart enough to drag yourself back onto the ship and to make your way up there. You still have your action available as you land on the ship, but no more movement.
Okay. Well, then how far away am I from them?
Roughly roughly 15 feet.
And if I have no more movement, then, well, I'm going to toll the guy that's in front of them.
Okay.
Because that's my only long range thing that I can do with my face.
Roll me damage.
Sweet. That is a 4.
A 4. Miss, you may kill it.
Oh, so it attacked Keith's character, right? It attacked Locke really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I'm imagining all this happening at the same time. So I kind of sneak up and I'm just like, boom. And it like clocks him in the back of the head and he kind of goes up and just, and then goes off into the air and we don't see him anymore.
Okay. So as you troll the dead, that's kind of what he feels is this like thumb of the bell tolling for the end of his life. And he loses his footing and kind of topples off the ship. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So as that happens, it is now Locke's turn. And Arlo, you are on deck.
Okay. So no one, is there anyone still on the boat, or what's the deal with the guy who was hanging off of it before?
The guy that was hanging off was crit and sent down into the clouds below.
Great. Never mind.
All right.
I'm sorry. I'm spaced for some reason now.
There's really nobody.
Milani, yeah. Milani did get rid of the guy there, so I think I'm drinking the heck out of a healing potion.
Okay, go ahead and chug that healing potion.
All right. That is 7 points, and I will happily take those because I got pretty banged up. And that powers me down, I think, since I haven't taken
on the
damage,
next
so.
turn. Yeah.
Okay.
Arlo, you're up, and Eberron, you're on deck.
Okay, so what is actually around us at this point?
So currently at this point, you have watched the one that you had made the suggestion for pull itself off onto behind a tower, and he has not popped out the other side yet. But you do see above you that the two ships that had created had started to create a barricade above your ship have now started to turn and follow you. So there are now two ships behind you with the dancing lights of red and blue.
Do we have any idea? Have we gotten out of the clouds enough to see where we are?
You can see them thinning ahead of you. They were going to clear on this next little advantage here.
All right. I'm trying to. I'm going to use my turn this time to try, because nobody's on our coach here, right?
Right.
Okay. So I'm going to use my turn this time to try to solicit a little bit of feedback and or, converse a little bit with the team. And I'm going to say, I think we need to leave the sky. We need to hit the ground. We need to try to lose them in the streets. And I'm basically just looking for some kind of, nod, wink, or whatever, and to see if everybody's on board with that.
Maybe it would be best if I get the ship very close to the ground and everyone leaps off and I continue on.
We don't have to get close. We've got tokens.
Oh yeah, that's right. We got tokens.
But we still have to get across the river.
I can get you as close as I can.
All right. That's probably about it.
So in this last turn for Eberron, you can see that there is the clouds kind of thinning out in front of you, and it gives you the ability to just barely, before you would make contact with it, you can see the ship that went around one of the towers arcing back around in front of you. Go ahead and make me a dexterity saving throw before you can see if how quickly you're able to notice it. Go ahead.
That's how we do it. 19.
A 19. So you're able to notice him coming in hard. However, at your as you're arcing down towards the ground, when you clear the clouds and you can see him, you are able to. You are going to be able to roll this one at just flat intelligence check instead of a disadvantage for your very quick speed, and you were able to react fast enough. Go ahead.
Okay. 19.
Wow.
Plus 2. 21.
All right.
I'll set up a camera for my dice, I swear to God, so everyone can see.
I believe you. Todd Kenrick, who is playing Eberron, is able to fully move the ship out of the way, taking evasive action on this downward spiral. The gravity, as he spins the thing in basically a rotation, drops you guys down into a little bit of a barrel roll. And as you cling to the sides to make sure that you have a grab, everybody also make me a dexterity saving throw. Because a bolt of lightning flies out of the sky and slams into the hull, just as Mr. Eberron is able to put them upside down and not actually have the lightning bolt strike the deck.
I rolled a 10.
Okay.
I'm not going to make it out of this.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. You don't actually have to roll this one, Mr. Kenrick.
Nope.
Milani? Satine? Did we lose Satine? Did we lose me?
Oh,
No.
I can't hear
No,
her.
you're
That was
there.
me. That was me. Sorry. 18 on the die.
Okay, so it rolls over. You guys are all able to maintain your grip on the deck, but you all are now prone as he rocks it back around to the top. And those of you that are on the back, which I assume is pretty much just Arlo at this point, can start to see pieces of the ship peeling off and falling across the way. The rest of you can feel it continue on. You can see the Dagger River spreading out below you as you shoot through the clouds, leaving kind of a little trail behind you. And the rain. You move out into what is the clear of the night, the moon, very high overhead, leaving a nice little shimmer across the lake. But you are all headed directly down towards it, roughly about 1,000 feet to go before you would hit it, and your ship breaking apart as you are all prone on the deck. What would you like to do?
I'm going to get up is one thing I'm going to do.
Okay.
And then
you start
I'm-
to make your way to your feet.
Like, are we, so are we close to the river you said we can see it. How
You
far?
are over it.
Oh, we're over it. Oh,
Mhm.
I'm jumping.
Okay.
I've got a token.
Sure. You launch yourself off and jump into a free fall. Who else is doing what?
I'm going to
Okay.
cut my rope.
Okay, you cut your rope. You were still down on the deck.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the right moment to jump.
Sounds good. Mr. Baker, what are you and Locke doing?
I'm having a tough choice of it because I also brought an extra feather token just in case, but we're still 1,000 feet away, so I don't feel like we're going to hit this moment, correct? Like,
You're
do I have
definitely not
another
going to
round?
hit right this moment. You definitely
So-
have another round.
I'm just going to hold on tight and trust and shout more helpful advice to Eberron. Keep it up, keep it in the air. You can do it.
Okay?
I do want to clarify, I did not activate the token.
No, I know.
Okay, all
I
right.
got a long way to go.
I said you went into a free fall, not into a free
Gotcha.
float. So as you guys go and you continually move across a little bit, you can feel now the staggering. Mr. Kenrick, go ahead and give me your intelligence check to hold this thing together.
You can do it.
12.
Okay.
Maybe. Roll higher. That's my helpful advice.
I got all my roll higher, yes.
So you're
Does it
trying
count
to-
as like advantage because he's Keith Baker?
I would have given Keith Baker inspiration for one of his things at the beginning of the game if we had asked. So as you're coming down, you can start to feel the ship peel apart underneath you. Everybody that's still on the ship, make me a dexterity saving throw at disadvantage as you are rocketing down towards the ground and shaky as the ship is breaking apart underneath you.
9.
Still 21. I'm hanging in there.
Wow. Okay. All right. So, Mr. Kenrick, you are still holding onto the wheel. So your roll is just a flat roll. What did you
Okay.
get?
I got an 11.
An 11. All right. So, anybody that got above a 10 is able to keep their footing and not fall off the boat. As Milani bumps into the deck and then slams into the railing and then peels rolling off the side you see the crystal launch itself into the air and onto the deck that is now peeling itself apart. Mr. Kenrick, you see in front of you, or I suppose Eberron, you see in front of you the crystal start to spin, and it is also right in front of Locke. And I think that we need to do another shuffle to see what happens.
Yeah, I'm going to grab it.
Okay, well, let's see if
I'll
you
grab it if
beat Mr.
I get there first.
Baker.
Oh, okay. I just don't want it to like go into the water. Or
No,
something.
you got it.
So first up is actually going to be Arlo, who is in free fall. You feel yourself gliding off. You can count out the measure that you're probably this round is when you would need to activate in order to avoid slamming into the water.
I gladly activate then.
Okay, so you activate, you kind of start to drift down, and as you watch the ship peel apart, little pieces of driftwood literally drifting through the air down towards you, you can feel the soft, gentle caress of the water on your feet as you then buoy and splash below. And then, Milani, you are falling as well. You have roughly 750 feet, so maybe not this round, but the next you would want to activate? Or
I'll activate when it's appropriate, but I do want to angle myself not in the river, but on the bank.
Oh, okay, so you want to kind of angle back towards the, or angle forward towards the other bank.
Well, I'm trying to get to where I need to go. Like,
Great.
at least as close to where I need to go.
Okay, do you want to take the bullet posture?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you'll take the bullet posture. You'll make your you'll kind of blitz directly towards it and ready your stone to activate for when you're about to land. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It is now Eberron, your turn.
So I'm still in the ship and it's falling apart, or it's
you were still in the ship. It's falling apart. Locke is standing next to you. You two can see the purple glowing green shard in front of you. It's kind of skittering across the deck as the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't want it to skitter. I'm gonna try to grab it.
All right, so you launch forward towards it. Go ahead and give me a sleight of hand.
16, 17, 18, 19.
Okay, you're able to lunge forward, snatch it up, and you can turn and look back at Locke. Locke, you see him snatch it up. You also gauge the distance from the ground, and the two of you are roughly about 500, maybe a little more. No, probably about 600 feet from the ground. And the ship is literally starting to break apart underneath you.
Fair enough. I want to try and take his hand and activate my feather token.
Okay. So you reach out to grab onto him, and when you activate your token, you guys kind of lift a little bit off of the ship, but it does not feel the standard lift, as it doesn't cast a feather fall on both parties. It is a personal feather fall token, and you two continue to fall, but at kind of a half rate. Everybody roll me a perception check.
15.
Nope.
16.
7. Wait.
7.
Okay. So those of you that got a 10 or higher, notice the sirens nearing closer. One of you is buoying in the water. You can see one of the ships starting to slow as it approaches you, buoying up and down in the water. Miss Phoenix, you are bolting towards the other side. You can see the shore starting to reach the area, and you can also see a little teleport pad there. As you activate your token, start to land on it, and you see the dragon mark of a House Orin Scion start to flare up. The moment you touch down on it, you disappear, making an appearance into the safe house. Mr. Averin and Mr. Locke drift down a little bit, roughly about 250 feet from the ground, just a little bit over the water. It looks like you guys are going to appropriately also make your target, but the Featherfall token now exhausts itself.
Okay.
And Locke, what do you do?
Do I feel at the speed we're going that we're talking about hitting in the next round, or do we still have a round to go?
You would end up hitting in the next round.
That's fine.
Okay.
So in that case, I'm drawing on my energy again. I got one more rage left, so I am powering up and preparing for a hard landing. I mean, I do have acrobatics, so I'll do my best. But
I mean, I
Okay.
still have a token, right? I can activate mine.
You can still activate. It's not your turn
or
yet.
do you think we? Yeah. Okay.
So I see Locke is feeling that it's kind of pittering out and waiting to drop and bracing himself for that impact.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So with that, I will leave the question to Arlo. Are you resisting arrest, or are you going in peacefully?
This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to, as they get closer to me, I'm going to say, will you please hurry up? Get me out of this water. They're getting away. And as they get me up, if they try to place me under arrest, I'm going to say that I am Arlo Garrett of House Thrashk, and that I'm here on official business. I'm a bounty hunter. I've been trying to bring in these bandits for some time. They made off with something on that train, and I pursued, and got caught up in the storm and ended up here in the river.
I cannot believe these dice. I rolled a natural 1, so
Yes.
your dragon mark flares up as they pull you onto the ship, and you yell at them. Your persuasion, intimidation, and performance all flare up at the same time, and you are able to successfully deceive them. As soon as they get you on board, they launch off after them, and you can see them nearing very close to where the platform is. On the other side there, you see that it is Averin, your turn. What are you doing? You right now have Locke's hand still holding on to you, and in one hand the crystal shard, and I'm assuming the other one the token.
Oh man, I do not know what to do. Well, we're just landing, right? So.
You guys,
So token?
you're about 250 feet off the ground.
Okay, we're 250 feet off the ground, and he's falling. Are we going to fall into the water? Or are we going to fall onto the ground?
It looks that if you do not activate the stone, it looks like either way you're probably going to hit the beach. Activating the stone would allow you to safely make it to the teleporting platform.
Okay, I'm gonna activate the stone.
Okay, so with Locke still holding on to you, you activate the stone. It ends up slowing you guys and your movement a little bit. As you're coming in, you can see the dragon mark of the House Orin Scion flaring up again, getting ready to trigger the portal one more time. And because of the speed that you two are falling at, you will land just a smidge shy. Both of you give me acrobatics checks as you hit the ground.
Okay. I have a 16.
Okay.
He's large and nimble.
Mm-hmm.
I was
15.
debating between. I was
What do you
debating
get?
between investigation and acrobatics, and
15.
glad I picked acrobatics.
Good call.
15 and
15.
16.
All right, so both of you hit the ground. You kind of do this little like stumble, pump, like bounce up in the air a little bit, barrel rolling almost over each other, scrolling into a heap, skidding across the platform, the metal tearing back with you as you go. Some of your plates twisting a little bit under this. It would definitely take a little bit of time in a shop to get this buffed out. But as you do, all of a sudden you start to see the skyline of Sharn, the neon glow, and that little moonbeam across the water start to visually phase in and out as you see standing above you, looking up, or looking down at you, the elf Milani, and no one else, just the three of you alone in a dark room. Everybody give me a perception check.
Probably not me.
No,
14.
16.
A what?
14 from me, 15 from
10.
Milani.
And 10?
Yeah.
All right. So as Milani and Locke go to help Eberron to his feet, you hear the slow clap coming from somewhere inside this very dark room. And as the lights rise, you can see that you are in a room with a double paned glass and something on the other side reverberating a slow clap until a magic mouth pops up in front of you and says, "Great job, agents," and begins to laugh.
All right.
And that's where we're going to stop.
Thank you.
And it's Arlo on the other side.
And so,
He's
just
live.
as a quick epilogue here, I'll do an epilogue as I am sending everyone away, but I want to take a moment to say thank you, Ruty Rutenberg, for dungeon mastering for us today. Excellent job, a lot of fun. Thanks Satine and Todd and the creator of Eberron, Keith Baker. Thank you guys so much for being here. It was a blast. We really appreciated having you.
All right. Thank you guys for having us, for sure.
Yeah, and so what is actually going on with Arlo is he told them that don't worry about it, they got away, but he has imprinted on them with his mark of finding, and that if they take him back to their offices, he will be glad to share the location of where they are for a little bit of a fee, of course. So that's what's going on. All right,
we won't do an epilogue for everybody.
Right.
All right.
I know Keith has got to get going.
All right.
I do.
Yeah, we got to get going. Everyone has to get going. Viewers, thank you so much for tuning in today for our impromptu stream. We really appreciate you hanging out with us. Go check out the Wayfinder's Guide to Eberron. It's on the DM's Guild, and you can get it on D&D Beyond right now. It was a cold drop today and this morning. A lot of excitement around it. So be sure to check it out. We will see you next time. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you.